Good morning, I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And I'm the face of Fox, Elias Gallegos. I'm in for Nikki Stanzione today.
And this is New Mexico style. Happy Friday.
Yay!
Finally here. Yeah, and it's going to be beautiful out there today, this whole weekend. Fantastic. It's just going to be a great start, I think, to the weekend.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Kristen.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the weather coming up in just a moment, but first, top Hollywood news. The news is out of Hollywood now that pop star Whitney Houston's death has officially been ruled an accident.
The Los Angeles coroner released the results of the 48-year-old singer's autopsy yesterday. Officials concluded Houston died of an accidental drowning, but added that heart disease and cocaine use were also contributing factors. Apparently, she had cocaine in her system at the time of her death.
That's too bad, and there were a lot of other drugs found too. Marijuana, Xanax, Flexeril, and Benadryl were found in her system, although authorities say those drugs did not contribute to her death. So,
wow. Really
sad to hear.
Well, yeah, I mean, just a loss like that is obviously tragic, and then when you hear, you know,
so many
substance abuse, it's just sad.
You hear it all the time with the Hollywood stars. It's really tough to see.
And unfortunate.
Well, let's get to our news headlines now and check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez for this morning's headlines. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kristen, and good morning, Elias. Happy Friday to you, and happy Friday to you at home. We're going to start with national news this morning. The American soldier accused of randomly killing more than a dozen civilians in Afghanistan is set to officially be charged today. The government says Staff Sergeant Robert Bales will be charged with assault and a number of other crimes related to the massacre, including murder. Originally, the Department of Defense accused him of killing 16 people. Now that number is 17. They say Bales left his base in Afghanistan, went into 2 villages, and shot and killed the civilians earlier this month. The soldier is accused of having been drinking the night of the massacre. Thousands of people gather in Orlando, Florida suburb, demanding justice for the recent death of an unarmed 17-year-old. Trayvon Martin was shot and killed last month as he was walking through a Sanford, Florida community. Police say that the shooter is this guy, George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch captain. He claims that he shot the boy in self-defense after he thought the boy was up to no good. Zimmerman was not arrested. Now demonstrators are calling for his arrest and for the Sanford police chief to resign. The chief did step down temporarily to avoid being a distraction during the investigation. This morning, we are learning that a former high-profile attorney convicted of killing a pedestrian after driving drunk will be not getting out of prison anytime sooner than expected. Carlos Fierro will lose 90 days of good time served after correction officials say he was getting special favors from 2 prison administrators. The former Santa Fe attorney is serving a 7-year sentence at the state prison in Los Lunas. Prison investigators say Fierro was making calls directly from prison and even doing legal work for inmates. Right now, the 2 prison workers who are allowing Fierro to do this are on paid suspension. Fierro is set to be released sometime in September. And very shortly now, leaders at the University of New Mexico will enter budget talks, and they're talking about possibly raising tuition. The Board of Regents will be meeting this morning. Trustees are considering a proposed 3% tuition increase, as well as a 3.5% increase in student fees. The money would go to libraries, athletics, and the faculty. The Regents are expected to vote on a final version of the budget next month. The hike would take effect, if it passes, for the next school year. And that wraps it up for your Friday morning headlines. Be sure to catch Matt Morrow, Kristen Van Dyke, and me every weekday morning on KRQE News 13 beginning at 4:30 a.m. Elias and Kristen, have a wonderful Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
Thank you.
You too. Have a great weekend. All right, the Southwest, this weekend there's a lot going on. The Southwest Chocolate and Coffee Fest is at the Albuquerque Convention Center. So if you have a sweet tooth, this is definitely the place to be. 75 chocolatiers, coffee roasters, bakers, and candy makers will be offering samples there.
This is the region's largest gathering of chocolate and coffee makers. There are also baking contests, chocolate eating contests, that sounds good, cooking demonstrations, and live entertainment. Visit chocolateandcoffeefest.com for details and for tickets.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think you might do well in the chocolate eating contest. We also have traditional forms of New Mexican religious art will be showcased at the Tomei beginning tonight and continuing through Holy Week, April 7th.
Right, the show opens today and all events are free for it. The Tomei Art Gallery is located on 47, halfway between Los Lunas and Belen. and the gallery hours are 10 to 5. You can call 565-0556 for more information. And you know, yesterday I interviewed 2 of the artists and they brought some of their examples of their work, and it was just stunning. It was absolutely beautiful. And if you want to watch that, you can see their full display on their segment of this segment at casa.com. But go see it in person too.
If you haven't had a chance to at least see some of the art, it's a good idea to go, because you may even have the opportunity to meet some of the artists, and
it's all natural. I love how it's all natural. And it just goes back so far in history,
time-honored legacy.
Yeah. Well, more dancing going on this weekend. I know you know a lot about that. You've been working on you and Nikki. The New Mexico Dance Challenge is the state's first full-scale competitive ballroom and Latin dance competition, and it's coming to Albuquerque's Crowne Plaza this weekend.
The weekend's featured artists are current USA and World Theatrical Ballroom champions Eric Luna and Georgia Ambarian. Here's a clip of them dancing.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Wow.
They look like they're in a dream.
They do. That's amazing.
You could do that.
No, let's not talk about what happened the last time I tried to do dancing.
Oh, that's right.
We don't want to talk about that.
Gravity never stops working.
No. Wow. That is so cool. So yeah, that's going on this weekend. I think it'd be fun to see that.
Yeah.
Here's some more information on it. The New Mexico Dance Challenge, March 23rd through the 25th. And again, it's at the Crowne Plaza. And you can go to enchantmentdancing.com for more information. And we'll have that link on our website, casa.com. You know, Chip Hindi, he runs Enchantment Dancing. And he's the one, he does so much for the community.
He beat me in my dance competition, so I couldn't have lost to a better man.
He's pretty good. He's tough to beat. He was my partner last year when we danced for Alzheimer's. I know he's dancing with Nikki this year.
Well, there's a lot going. And speaking of moving, let's get moving for a good cause. The Free to Breathe Albuquerque Lung Cancer Bike Ride is Sunday.
That's right. You can go early, stay late. This event includes 20, 10, and 6-mile rides along the Rio Grande Bosque bike path. There's plenty more to do, including a rally, silent auction, motivational speakers, and entertainment. And I'm telling you, the weather is going to be spectacular for this. So
do yourself a favor and visit freetobreathe.org for all the details and a schedule of events. Don't forget your bike helmet. They're mandatory. All proceeds from this event will benefit the National Lung Cancer Partnership's research, education, and awareness programs.
Right, so it's all going to a good cause. So good stuff this weekend, and your best friend can also be your date tomorrow night at the Mayor and First Lady's Dog Ball. That's sponsored by our good friends at Comcast.
You and your dog will enjoy a great evening together and help stop animal homelessness in Albuquerque at the same time.
This weekend is the Mayor's Dog Ball at the Albuquerque Balloon Museum. And the Mayor's Dog Ball is Kennel Compadre's major fundraiser for each year. And this year we're out to fix the problem. All of our money will go to the city's spay and neuter voucher fund. So we're pretty excited about that. This is one of the few sit-down dinner events, formal events, where people do bring their dogs. We start with Yappy Hour. From Yappy Hour, we have a wonderful sit-down dinner. This year is catered by the Cooperage. And so throughout dinner and Yappy Hour, we will have music. And after dinner, we start in with a wonderful live auction. Our Mistress of Ceremonies is Terry Q. Sayer. And we finish the evening with our famous doggy fashion contest, which is always the highlight of the evening. So people can expect a lot of fun, a lot of dog chatter, some pretty fancy duds on the dogs, and a high tension fashion contest at the end. Every year has gotten better and better, but typically we will have somewhere around 150 to 200 people and 80 or more dogs.
She's getting licked to death over there.
That's what pure joy looks like.
I know. We're talking a lot about dogs today. You know, today's National Puppy Day. And just wait. These puppies are so adorable. Later in the show, we're going to be showing them to you. And if you have puppies or you have dogs, you may have this problem. Sometimes they got to go. When they got to go, they got to go. But did you know there's an app for that? Working Like Dogs, that's the name of the app, has just released a free app that lets travelers with dogs, that lets dogs quickly find somewhere to go. How about that?
That's amazing. The original iPhone version was released last month, and due to high demand led to an Android version, which is now available both on iPhone and Android versions, make the app usable for people who are visually impaired or blind, rather.
Right, this is cool. You know, there's an app for everything now, and this one is free, and the full title is Where to Go, a directory of airport animal relief areas. So sometimes I mean, you know, that's important. Sometimes you got to know these things. So now you can just pull it up on your phone. It does everything for
There's going to be so much to do with apps, with dogs, with the Santos. And it's going to be great weather, and we're also going to have an action-packed weekend at the box office this week. So the film adaptation, The Hunger Games, which we were talking about earlier, leading the way.
It is leading the way, and Fox's Ashley DeVorkin has all the details.
And happy Hunger Games!
It's game on at the movies as the first installment of a best-selling book trilogy enters the ring as a potential blockbuster franchise with The Hunger Games.
I volunteer as tribute!
Starring Jennifer Lawrence in the futuristic story about a teen who volunteers to take her sister's place in a brutal fight for survival.
What did you say to your sister when you volunteered at the reaping?
I told her that I would try to win for her.
And try you will.
Already breaking the record for most pre-sale tickets for a non-sequel, expect long lines and packed theaters during its opening weekend. Keeping the action in overdrive, it's martial arts fighting for survival. The Raid Redemption follows a special forces team trapped in a building by a crime lord and forced to fight their way out floor by floor. Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda helped score the film.
John Carter's Earth?
They're up against the big budget flick John Carter, which Disney admitted won't make back its rumored $275 million budget.
You're really good at this. Yeah. Hey, you want to be friends? Yeah, I did.
Plus the apparent winning combination of Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, and the big screen remake of the Fox TV series 21 Jump Street, as the #1 hit comedy continues to go for laughs.
Do you even know the Miranda rights?
In New York, Ashley DeVorkin, Fox News.
You know, and talking about Hunger Games, it's really cool because the movie has an Albuquerque connection.
That's right.
The girl Willow Shields, who plays Primrose, the younger sister in the movie, she's actually from Albuquerque. So it's really cool. She's been in, you know, some of the TV shows In Plain Sight, some local shows like that, but this is her first time really being...
Major motion picture.
Yes, and that's such a big part. You haven't read the books.
I have not read the books, but I'm starting to hear the buzz, and they seem to have quite the following because they're sequential books.
Right, they are, and you know, and it's tough. I mean, it's a really good book. It's full of action and adventure. It's a little dark though, because it's post-apocalyptic. You have all these kids. It's sad because they're teenagers and they're struggling, you know, for their lives basically up against other teenagers. And so, Primrose plays a pretty pivotal part. Like, her part pretty much sets up the whole thing. And, and again, we have that Albuquerque connection. And News 13 Matt Morrow, the anchor Matt Morrow, caught up with Willow earlier this week, and we're going to have that interview for you coming up in our second half hour. It's really good. She's such a sweet girl.
Yeah, I was actually here the other day while Matt was interviewing her in the hallway, and there was quite a ruckus. Very well-spoken young lady, really intelligent.
Very well-spoken. And they still live in Albuquerque even now, which is pretty cool.
Yes, Albuquerque, New Mexico in general is becoming quite the film mecca. I guess it has been since the 30s, so they've done a few movies here.
Are you going to see any movies this weekend? Any of those look really interesting to you or no?
Yeah, I'm kind of an action movie buff, so I think I may find time. Saturday night is usually movie nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it at night because the day is too nice. It's too nice not to get out and enjoy the day.
I'll probably shoot some hoops tomorrow in the sun. It'll be. Do we have any sun this weekend?
Sun this weekend? We are going to have sun this weekend. But what I was going to say, too, about going back to the Hunger Games, this is pretty cool, too. Had a great start. It's expected to make $120 million.
Wow.
And it opened up last night at midnight, beat out Twilight. How about that?
Wow, that's quite the feather in your cap.
Probably more guys, I would think, would probably be more into the Hunger Games than you know, Twilight.
Right.
Too many guys like that one, especially just girls. All right. Well, if you get engaged this weekend, it'd be a perfect weekend to get engaged, right?
Sure.
You could be eligible to win a dream wedding.
And earlier this week, we introduced you to Mark Ortiz and Maritza Romero, the lucky couple who won this year's $50,000 dream wedding giveaway and next year it could be you.
Right, and to register for next year's Dream Wedding giveaway, visit nmdreamwedding.com, and of course we'll have that information on our website as well. Lovely couple, so excited for them. It's really cool how this works. They raise so much money for the hospital, and then we're going to be looking at, they're going to have this fantastic wedding that they don't have to worry about anything. The planning's done, it's all paid for, and you know, that could be you next year. So
that is a very stressful thing, is all the planning, the picking.
You know all about that, right?
The colors.
You've been there.
Well, I mean, I just showed up.
You left it all to your wife.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
typical
it was just
man. All right.